So here we have my new DeWalt DW735 planer, 13-inch planer. Nice unit, it's very popular. I haven't used it very much yet, but it looks like it has lots of functionality, two-speed feed rate here. All the necessities for planer. This isn't a review, so I'm not going to bore you with all that stuff. I just wanted to point out how easy it is to change blades and knives, more specifically in this planer. Somebody was really thinking, they had their thinking cap on real tight when they made this unit, and I'll show you why. Don't bring any tools with you because that's all you need right there. Start by taking these out. You don't take them out either because somebody thought well enough to make those a captive bolt. It doesn't come out. You won't lose it. You have to lose that entire cover to lose that bolt. So just spin those up. Like that. Okay. I'll probably need two hands for this. Don't lift on the handles. The handles don't come with the top. There's nice little handholds here on each side. And then lift it up. Let's see if I can do it with one finger here. Look at that, I did. So that's the cover. Set that aside. And here we see the very roomy interior. This is like a luxury car, this planer. It's got lots of room, even for guys with giant hands like mine. Next, you need to remove this chip extraction hood. With these nice little long handled screws. Those are very cool. A little tray there to hold your bits and pieces as you work. Another well thought out idea. Little things that make a big difference, you know. Some companies, they just don't bother. Somebody at DeWalt was thinking. Now you can see in here something this planer has that I don't know if all of these so-called lunchbox planers have. It's this blower. This is the motor for the planer. As you can see, maybe down in the end here, that's the belt for the cutter head. But on the other end of the motor, they put a nice blower in here. And that really shoots out the chips. You got to have some kind of hose on that thing because that really fires chips out of there. Pull that hood a little to the side. It's hard to do with one hand here. Probably the wrong hand too. There you go. So just to the side a little. That hood came out better the last time. There we go. The hood comes out. It's all good. And there's your cutter head. So now you can go ahead with plenty of space in here. Look at that. I have a 9-inch reach on my hand. And I can move my hand through here without touching anything. That's great. 3 knives in this unit. Don't run your fingers along them, obviously, unless you want a real nice cut. And we'll go ahead and change those. So in order to turn the cutter head, they provide you a nice little locking mechanism down at the end here. That just pushes down. Goes down. And you should use 2 hands when holding the camera with one. And then you can easily turn that cutter head. Don't touch that sharp edge there. You end up with a cut. Dull blades or not. And that's how you can turn that cutter head to go to the next blade. In order to get the blades out, there are 8 of these Torx head screws. And they're a little tight. They're not too bad though. Just nice DeWalt provided T-handle Torx driver is just the deal for undoing these. I'll just crack them all loose and then spin them out by hand. Just getting the last of these blade retainer bolts out. And another nicety that DeWalt gave us was a nifty little tray up here. I imagine you can perhaps put a set of spare blades in there. I don't know if it's long enough. Maybe it's not long enough. But anyway, again, the DeWalt supplied tool here. All you need to do is pick that retainer up, set it aside, and then you can pick that blade up with the same tool, spin it around, and there are some nice little retainer dogs near the end here that gets that blade exactly in the right place. Don't drop it. Set that blade retainer back down in there. Doesn't seem to be much that indexes it, so just set it in there so the screw holes line up. Just finger tighten a couple of these in there to hold it. And then you can go ahead and get the magnetic tool out of the way and put the rest of the Torx head screws in the cutter head. I'm going to tighten those down fairly tight. Don't go crazy on them though. And that's about it for replacing knives in the DeWalt 735 planer. Of course, you have to do that 3 times. There's 3 knives in this thing. They're double-sided, so you turn them around as shown. And then we'll just put it all back together here. And of course, the first thing to put in is the chip extractor. I don't know if that's what DeWalt calls it, but that's what it does. You have to make sure it fits into the blower at the end here. And then there are just 3 rather long screws that may fall down on you to go in here. Do it with one hand while I hold the camera. I'll show you on this one here. Maybe. Okay. Get it in there. And this isn't cornerstone of the operation, so don't go crazy tightening them. Actually, leave them loose until you have all 3 in. You may have trouble. There's one more way over here at the end. Hard to do with one hand. As an aside, I think they made these the wrong way around. The little handle here. The way this handle is made, it allows you to torque them tighter than it allows you to release. And I think that's wrong. You should always have more purchase on releasing the screw than tightening it. But don't torque them down anyway, and that's not an issue, just a picky thing in my opinion. So there, the chip extractor hood thing is in there. And then we can button it up with the main cover. Fits pretty easily. Same as before. screw these Torx head bolts in there. Don't go crazy tightening these. A little tighter than I'm making them, but just a nice little twist on it. Sorry, I keep losing the frame, watching what I'm doing instead of the camera. And then, again, thinking DeWalt gives you a nice place to stow that tool. And you've just changed the blades in your DeWalt DW735 planer.